thanks for joining me today on my reselling channel, Flippin' Hippos. I'm Star, and today is Tutorial Tuesday. This is the video where we get to learn something new every week. If you have a request for anything you would like me to teach you, show you, share my screen, anything like that, let me know in the comments below. I will be taking requests ahead of my own prepared lists I have. I have plans for hundreds of tutorials going through 2026. We'll do one every Tuesday, but I will take requests from the chat and the viewers ahead of anything else, because if that's what you want to see, that's what you're going to get. So don't hesitate to ask. Last week, my friend Karen, Avon Ridge, asked to see how to set up your store categories on eBay. So your store categories are different from the eBay categories. And by that, I mean, I'm going to share my screen a lot. It's a tutorial video. I have a listing here like I'm about to list. When you go to list an item on eBay, there's two categories here. You see item category here where it says jeans, and then store category. So this is the eBay category it's going to go into. And that's what the AI bases all of this, where it fills in your items and gives suggestions. And it allows it to be put in the proper category. So when buyers search that item, you can be placed correctly in the search results. The store category is specifically for you to organize your store how you would like your items to be organized. You can do subcategories, subcategories. I'm going to go over all of that with you. And I'm also going to show you what it looks like to buyers on their end when you have organized store categories. It is good to have them for buyers, but most folks will tell you that we don't get a lot of repeat buyers on eBay. So having them set up is good. It looks great when you're here as a buyer. You can go to featured categories when you set up your store. If you need to know how to set up your store or do any of these graphics, I would have to do that in a different video. So if you don't know how to set up your store, let me know, because that can be another tutorial. But it just helps buyers, and they can go here and they can go to, these are all my store categories that I created. These are not eBay categories. So when buyers are on my store, they can go to clothes, and then these are the subcategories I mentioned. So under clothes, I have all of these different categories. Now, what you're going to have is based on you. If you don't sell clothes, you won't have clothes. If you don't sell jeans, you won't have jeans. But you just have them kind of sorted here for yourself and for the buyers. Another important thing to note, when you have store categories set up, you can be more specific when you set up store sales. So if you wanted to do 20% off your entire store, except your electronics, you can emit the electronics from that sale when you go to set it up. So having categories will also help you on the back end of setting up sales, because you can select specific categories or omit specific categories when you run sales. That would also be another tutorial. So if you need to see that, let me know in the comments. I'm more than happy to do as many tutorials as you guys want or request. And a lot of these, when I start talking about stuff, will have parts to it that really could be its own tutorial video that I don't think about making unless you guys say, hey, wait a minute, I don't know how to set up sales and omit categories. I need you to show me that. But back to the topic at hand. eBay store categories allow you to easily organize items for yourself when you're listing. It gives you that beautiful background store for buyers, and they can peruse your categories. And then it allows you to be more specific with sales. So how do you set up your store categories? Good question. I want to make that as big as possible for you guys. So when you're on the Seller Hub, go to Store here, Store Categories. See where I'm at? And it's going to bring you to this page. Now, if you don't have any set up already, this is all going to be blank. This just shows you what I already have set up. Right here, Add Store Categories. This is where you're going to create a new category, whether it's video games, clothing, puppy toys. Once you have your main categories created, that's when you add your subcategories. So how under clothing I have boys jeans, girls jeans, etc. I went and created clothing first, and then here add subcategory, and you just create your subcategory and you make sure that you're in the right spot here. And that's as simple as that. You can rename it and you can delete it. Let's say you don't sell clothes anymore, so you just delete that category because you're getting out of it. You can reorder them, alphabetical, by number of listings, or manual, and you will see your level 2 and your level 3 categories here when you're manually rearranging them. So I could say I want boys outerwear above boys jeans. I could have everything alphabetical. It can be as organized as you want, or just a simple alphabetical or number of listings. You saw that third level there? I should show you that as well. So under boys jeans, I could have another subcategory, toddler, 4 and up. Under men's hats, you could add baseball, cowboy. So you can have up to 2 subcategories. So under clothing, you could have hats and then, baseball, cowboy. And then when you go to reorder them, you'll see your level 2 and level 3 here. And you can move them up and down again if you want to arrange them yourself. These little arrows here will allow you to open and close to see your subcategories when you're in here playing around and organizing. You can see what level you're on. So this is the first level, boys is the second. If there's no arrow next to it, you only have that level to look at. Comic books, I only have 1 level. Toys and hobbies, I have 2. You can see how many subcategories you have, how many listings are in that category. So it's that simple, adding and deleting and moving around and having 1 to 2 subcategories just to keep it as organized as you want to be. Now, another common question is, well, how do I add items to those categories? Unfortunately, there is no real quick magical way to add items to categories, but I will show you how to do it with an individual listing and then in bulk. It is important before you try to add items to a category that the category is already created here. You can't create a new listing of your very first remote control and try to put it or create a store category while you're listing. You have to come to this page and create that category, and then you will be able to add items to it. So you have to create the category first. And then when you are listing individual listings, here under store category, you just click edit. You can have up to 2 categories under store category. This isn't the eBay category. Sometimes they charge you for that second one. So don't fiddle fart with that. Just your own store categories. And sometimes you do want to. If you have a sweater that's also Christmas, you may want to have it in your store category, women's sweaters, and your holiday category. So right here is where you do that. These are the eBay ones up here where it says item. Fees may apply whether or not your item sells. So again, let me reiterate that it's really important. When you're in here editing the categories, don't accidentally add a second category to the item category here. Those are eBay's, and they can charge you for that. But under store categories, feel free to add 1 or 2 categories. They're your categories that you created, and you can use 2, and there's no charges. This is for a new listing. If you have an old listing that you would like to move, you just go to your active listings here, listings active right here, and click on edit. And you would edit your category like I just showed you on the new listing. But if you wanted to do it in bulk, you just select as many as you'd like. I'm just going to select all here down the whole page just to make it easy, but you could select 1, 5, 8, 12, the whole page, however many you're moving. Let's say you've never had categories set up before, or you're just moving things from jewelry to necklaces or jewelries to bracelets to be more specific. This is where you would do it in bulk. So you select all the items that you want to move. Up here on the top left, there's the blue button, edit. Moving my mouse over it. Hopefully you can see that. Edit selected. It'll bring you to this page. You will have to select the items again. You cannot use the bulk edit unless you click on this top box, which will check mark everything down. Then you go up here to bulk edit. You'll have to scroll down to where you see listing detail here. Click on category. Again, you want to make sure you're in your store categories. This item category, first and second, is the eBay. So scroll down until you see store category. The primary category, change to. So if you were changing everything to clothing, you would select that. You would say apply. It'll change all of them here. Depending on how many you chose to change is how long that screen will take. And then you click submit. I'm not going to click submit because I don't want to change any of those for real. But if you did want to do it, you would click submit. It'll take a second and then they will all move to that category for you. So we've learned how to set up your store categories, the subcategories, and organize them. We learned why it was important, and I showed you how to add items to the categories. If you have any further questions, comments, concerns, or need anything else explained or re-explained or explained better, just let me know. I'm more than happy to help. And if you want to see any other tutorials in this Tuesday tutorial playlist or series, let me know. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.